Soren.
Yeah.
So we, a couple weeks ago, we cover the whole Republican National Convention for Topical Cure, our new show that you hosted.
I did, yeah.
And then we just f***ed off for a week, right?
Right,
The
we
DNC.
didn't do anything.
Yeah,
For the DNC, we really just watched it, let it sink in.
Just hung out for a while.
I was very worried during Bernie Sanders' speech that he wasn't going to get around to finally endorsing Hillary. He really took the longest route there.
Yeah.
I mean, he really went through what looked like was going to be another Ted Cruz moment. It was very scary for a moment, and then he finally got around to it. By the way, the DNC never really found their stride with the chants.
There's chaos in the California delegation.
They chanted things like Joe a lot.
Yeah,
Joe
there was a lot of Bernie or bust. There was a lot of Bernie or Jill Stein, which is less compelling as a chant. Chants can't be a series of options.
Right.
That you need a very specific point. It can't be like Bernie or Jill or Gary Johnson. Who else do we have? They knew that there's going to be a lot of anti-Hillary, pro-Bernie chants, so they handed out chant guidebooks.
Really?
They're like, if someone starts chanting this, you should chant this, because they were trying to find things that would like lock her up, really like hit the her on the DNC side, and like Hillary, and try to like sway the tide of chants to your side.
That's fascinating. If you're a young idealist, stop crying. Stop crying during every single speech. You're just steering into your own stereotype. You're encouraging people like the bullies inside everyone to be like, no, I can't deal with this party. There's just a bunch of Tumblr kids.
I sent Soren an email last night, like, here are a bunch of things that I wanted to cover, and I'm like, bang, 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 here are the things that I want to hit. And then he replied like, yeah, we should hit those things. Also, I feel like we should mention Tim Kaine.
Sarah Kaine and Tall.
I completely forgot Tim Kaine. I'm gonna like come out and say some very basic, bland white guy talking points, and then ¿Cómo está? Like that's it. Like, that's the impression that he made on me.
His feigned enthusiasm is really transparent, and he's just doesn't feel anything about anything. And he's perfect for Hillary's running mate because he's so milquetoast that he cannot offend anyone.
There were so many people circling the drain of being Hillary's VP that could have been interesting. Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren was talked about, Tom Perez was talked about for a while, and Tim Kaine is like, nope, we picked a really safe white guy, and he seems like he's just sitting there like, I don't want to do anything wrong because we have a really good shot of me being in the White House, and otherwise I don't have a career. So I'm going to just like keep quiet and like nod and smile and drop in some Spanish, and then like hide for 5 months until the debates.
Just go dormant. Joe Biden was sort of a safe choice as well. But then Joe Biden went on to say some really clunky things.
Yeah.
All the way through this DNC.
Until right now. Like, Joe Biden trotted out his greatest hits. He said malarkey.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Got a standing O for saying malarkey. That was good.
But speaking of greatest hits that were trotted out, or almost trotted out in this case, Howard Dean walked us to the brink.
Yeah.
And then didn't deliver.
It was, I think, him trying to like retcon what happened.
He came out and he did his, and we're gonna win in Pittsburgh, we're gonna win in Virginia, and everyone's sitting there like he's gonna do that famous pia that destroyed him. Then he just stopped after like, in Florida, and then walked away.
I think
like smiled at the mic, and we're all there. There must have been people sitting in the audience like, no. The thing that we liked about that was the pia. It wasn't that you mentioned Pittsburgh, you maniac. Is that you shrieked like an insane person. Kids watching at home, there used to be a time when a politician could do one weird thing, and that was enough to destroy his career.
Also, we should talk about Michelle Obama.
Oh my God, Michelle Obama's so f***ing great.
Everything she says feels so earnest. I don't know necessarily if it is, but it definitely feels that way.
It was really almost adorable to watch pundits try their very best to tear her apart, because she did this very moving speech about living in the White House, a place that was built by slaves, and she gets to watch her children play on the White House lawn. And then pundits came out and they were like, those slaves were well fed.
Right. No, some of those slaves were probably Irish. Like that's like, no, man, I've seen Roots. I think they're writing Irish slaves there. I was actually upset during watching it, that she couldn't be Hillary's wife. Like that we couldn't have another 4 years of Michelle.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I work this? The part of the convention that really, I'll say, hit the wrong note. It was
Here it comes.
the montage a cappella song of This Is My Fight song.
Holy shit. All right, I say this as someone, I love Elizabeth Banks. I was in an award-winning a cappella group throughout college.
What's the name of that group?
Casual Harmony.
Okay.
What's up? Because like casual sex, like
Look it up.
there's no strings attached in casual sex, and like casual harmony, there's also no strings in that. We do it with our mouths.
Wow, that you got there eventually. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I really did feel like I was held hostage by that song. It was very uncomfortable because there was a lot of feigned emotion in it, and there was a lot of like real synthetic enthusiasm
Yeah.
of like people like showing their shirt, like we need a hero who's a woman, and at the end you just have Sia, who like far and away has a better voice than anybody else there, and all she does is whisper Hillary.
Go, Hillary.
As though like we couldn't get there on our own. Like, well, Sia, we need you to do this. We need you to say Hillary. Otherwise, nobody's gonna have any idea who we're talking about.
One of the things that really jumped out at me was Bill Clinton's speech. I know a lot of people hate him. I have like a tremendous fondness for Bill Clinton.
Yeah, of course.
I have a lot of thoughts. Way too long. He
Yeah.
gave a minute-by-minute recount of
1971.
the 1970s, the entire 70s. He just went through all of it. I know what he was doing. He was trying to humanize Hillary, and he was trying to like endear everyone to the Clintons as a family. So he like his speech was in the framework of this romantic comedy where he was like, I met Hillary in 1970 and I was too shy to ask her to marry me, but I did. And she said no. And then I asked her a second time and she said no. And I asked her a third time and she said yes. If it's the president that we all know had all that sex with all those women who weren't
Yeah.
his wife,
Right.
then it's suddenly uncomfortable. Because when he's telling this story, he was like, we were walking down the street and she saw a house she liked. And she was like, that's a nice house. So I bought it. And then I was like, I bought you that house. You have to marry me.
Right.
And she did. And everyone claps. But that's like, I can hear the echoes of, and then I said to her, I'm the president and you're an intern, so you have to blow me.
You're right. It requires the pretense of monogamy for that speech
Right.
to work. I really wanted that speech to start with, back in 1971, I met a woman. She exuded confidence in a way that I couldn't go up and talk to her. Anyway, 4 years later, I met Hillary. You know the one. And that would just be it. But balloons.
Yeah.
Balloons, everyone.
Hey, you know they're still making these? Yeah, where the f*** have you been, Bill Clinton? Hey everyone, thanks for watching that. Join us next week when we'll be covering the Green Party's National Convention. We'll do all of our sick Jill Stein jokes.
I got a lot.
Yeah.
I wish that there was a Green Party convention. Ooh, just a bunch of Tumblr gifs.